when I think about your education, did you have like Ivy League aspirations?
Absolutely not. I'll have to tell you that my aspiration was to go to college. And I think my parents, certainly did push me to college, and they certainly thought that I would go to college and have a scholarship because I was always strong academically. And at that time, when I got into Harvard, Harvard wasn't giving the kinds of scholarships they give today. So, the financial consideration was a real one, but I was determined to go anyway. But let me tell you, it wasn't an aspiration. It didn't really click. My aspiration was to go to UCLA. And why? Because my favorite aunt lived in Los Angeles. All right. So that was really the method to the magic, if you will. But I went to a great high school, Bishop Kenny High School in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was in honors classes. And interestingly enough, my classmates were talking among themselves, not to me. They were talking among themselves. Oh, did you get your University of Pennsylvania application in? Did you get your Cornell? Oh, I'm thinking about applying to Harvard. I'm thinking about applying to, Princeton. And that's when I became aware that there was this, other group of schools that the people who were sitting around me were aspiring to. And then some of those schools were actually coming to Bishop Kenny to recruit. And so I raised my hand to go to I'll never forget, the Cornell recruiter was the first recruiter I went to. And then I started hearing more and more of my colleagues start to talk about Harvard. But I'll tell you what really pushed me to apply was I had a guidance counselor at the time, God bless him. And I went to him and I said, so talk to me about these Ivy League schools. And he said, listen, don't bother about applying there. You will get into a great college. Just apply to the Florida schools. You'll be fine. You'll go to college. Don't worry. And I said, yeah, but why not those? He said, well, because it's really hard to get in. They take in 1 out of 10 kids. So don't worry about that. Just apply to these schools. And I've always been negatively motivated. That I think I got from my mother. So you tell me I can't do something, I'm all over it like a bad smell. So the fact that he was saying, don't apply to these schools, when I heard my colleagues talking about it every day, made it even more attractive. So I decided I was going to apply to Harvard. I decided I was going to apply to Princeton. I decided I was going to apply to Cornell, and I got into them all. And I did what he told me to do. I applied to all the Florida schools, Florida A&M, FSU, University of Florida. I got into all of those schools, and in most cases with scholarships. So I could have gone free ride. But by then I'd figured out that, I might want to think about this Harvard thing. So when I got the acceptance, I said to, my mother, who at the time, because my father had already gone to the Gulf for his season, and I said, Mom, I'm going to Harvard. And she goes, how are we going to pay for this? I said, I don't know, but I'm going. And that was all she wrote. And I will tell you, I had 3 jobs while I was there. I was on financial aid, and I tell kids it can be done. I graduated magna cum laude undergrad with 3 jobs, right? But it absolutely can be done. So that's where it clicked, was being very self-aware and being aware of my surroundings and learning. And this is one of the things I talk about in the book. As a leader, you have to be willing to have an open ear and listen to those who are around you and to check yourself. Because if I hadn't done both, I would never have made that call.